victim in the David investigation, Celeste, has been laid to rest, even though there hasn't been any justice, and her family still has a lot of questions. So let's get into it.
Is 28 days after her body was found in the trunk of an impounded car belonging to the pop star known as David.
My stomach sank today when I saw Celeste's family have a funeral because it was so real to see them go and bury their 14-year-old daughter, their niece, their cousin. She had a lot of family there. I feel like seeing pictures from the funeral just really wakes you up to how many people are affected and how many people loved this little girl. So seeing people crying and emotional remembering her life just makes me so much more angry at the fact that we don't have justice yet. And while I want Celeste's body to laid to rest, I do question how the autopsy report gathered enough evidence to declare that they won't have to go and, this is morbid, but dig her back up.
Last week, when crews were hauling out boxes and crates and bags and throwing them in a trailer, it was a very different scene from the actual move conducted by actual movers the week before.
Like currently the autopsy report is deferred, but is there a world where it could be just inconclusive and we just don't have answers? Is there more that could be done? Her body was heavily decomposed, which is part of the problem when it comes to this autopsy. So I don't know if they could have done any more with the body. We don't even know exactly how long she was in that Tesla. I see that there are new conspiracies we'll talk about in a moment that mention that she hadn't been seen since early 2025. So really, we have no idea what the medical examiner is working with. So we don't know what her condition was like. I mean, they said that she wasn't pregnant, but that's pretty much all we got. They did report that she had been dead for weeks, but we don't know how many weeks that is. And honestly, I don't trust that they even know. They did try to keep this ceremony somewhat private. They put a big tent over where her body was placed. We also have some footage from the ceremony when they were taking her casket out to the tent. It is just so morbid to think about this situation, them burying their young daughter, and to think that there's a possibility that this singer, David, is going to get away with it all. This man who has power and popularity and connections might be able to weasel away from taking a 14-year-old girl's life, even though much of the evidence suggests that he's responsible. I mean, I would cry at this funeral. It's such a tragic story. Now, the comments lately have been really throwing me off. I can't tell. Are there people who are anti-Celeste? Somebody said, why use a full-size casket for a body that was dismembered in a state of advanced decay? I mean, I don't know, just so like, isn't that just like a standard? You're not going to put them in like a box. Oh, that sounds so terrible. Why are people upset at the police? They didn't hurt the girl. Be upset with her family and David. I think people are mostly upset with the fact that like police haven't, we haven't seen them do anything yet. I'm still holding out hope. Dude killed her and probably told one of his buddies to get rid of the car, so he did. He abandoned it on some random street. Well, the street's actually right by his house, so no, that's not fact. She was a juvenile prostitute that met usual end of the road. Oh my gosh. You guys are so vicious in the comments. Now her family cares. Poor little girl. My condolences. Ugh. It's so toxic. I think this is what happens whenever there isn't quick action. There starts to be some toxicity that brews. And I get it. There's people also conspirizing because how are we at this point where there is no arrest? It's 2025, people. It's pretty hard to get away with a crime with phone evidence and, fingerprints, text messages, all of that. There were 911 records obtained by the Daily Mail. It was revealed that the police were called 33 times to Celeste's home in the last 3 years, which is a lot. The logs indicate that 11 calls came in from her home in Lake Elsinore, California, prior to her disappearance, while 22 came in after she was reported missing. So it seems like, I'm glad they clarified that, because it's not like the police were being called a lot to the home because of Celeste. They're being called a lot to the home in general, which kind of feeds into, that she had a dysfunctional family and kind of gives us more motivation on her end on why she wanted to get out of that situation. Police were constantly called. It was a mess. I can understand why the 13, 14-year-old girl wanted to run away and thought she could trust this creepy David. There's a reason why Hollywood stars always seem to walk away from scandals untouched. Just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury firm. Most regular people, including me, don't have a legal army behind them. And if you're injured in an accident, insurance companies try their best to pay you as little as possible. That is where Morgan & Morgan comes in. With over 1,000 attorneys and 100 offices across the country, they are built to fight for regular people, not corporations. In Florida, a client was offered $350,000 by an insurance company. Morgan & Morgan stepped in and got them $12 million. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome, but these stories are what they do every day. And it's easier than ever. You don't have to deal with those piles of paperwork. You also don't have to pay anything up front. You could even start your claim right now within minutes by using your phone. You could get started by scanning the QR code on the screen using your phone's camera. Remember, the fee is free unless they win. If you ever find yourself injured, then check out Morgan & Morgan. Again, you could start your claim today by scanning the QR code or visiting the link in my description below. It's fast, it's simple, and it could change everything. Now, this guy, SF Investigates Steve has been doing a lot in this case, and he shared a tweet. I'm starting to believe that the information I was receiving claiming a family member messaged with Celeste in July was incorrect. Whether that's accidental or intentional by the family member, I'm not sure. There's no trace of Celeste after early 2025 that I can find. The parties attended by a family member were in 2024 during the missing but not really missing time. The Tesla's registration expired in January 2025. It was ticketed twice in late 2025 in Hollywood, then not again until it was impounded. I can't find any trace of Celeste since very early 2025, although I fully admit that some sharp people on Reddit and YouTube are more dialed into her digital footprint. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if something may have happened to Celeste many months ago, early in the year, being the weather and a sealed compartment and little oxygen, no insects, which is an important component of decomposition. I guess if you have insects, it can make it a lot worse. So maybe she was decomposed a lot, but not as bad as she could have been if it was like back in like February or March. Seems like he's thinking it could be Feb or March. This person shouted out Steve, saying Steve, the private investigator, has been right on most things so far, and he says he thinks within a week there will be an arrest. I have a clip from the news I want to play for you guys. So there's been a lot of reporters lurking around Celeste's neighborhood, and one of them recently spoke to neighbors about a Tesla. Why do I feel like Tesla is a new trigger word? But a Tesla that would go outside of Celeste's home. They didn't give us much details, but they did a full segment about this on News Nation. Take a look.
We're out here at what we know as Celeste's home that she lived with her family. And right over there is the beautiful memorial we have seen in her honor. But today we confirmed with a neighbor that they had seen a black Tesla coming in and out at all hours in the night. We can confirm it was when Celeste was still here, and that it was near her home. Her home is right here, and the area that the black Tesla was seen was over in this vicinity. There's a parking lot in this area back there, and then there's also street parking. So we were told, and this—
I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. So if the Tesla was there, neighbors saw it, they noticed it, it seemed odd, it kind of adds up, it probably is him. I noticed this as I get older, that like usually your gut feeling or what the evidence points to is typically the conclusion. Ever since David hired Blair Burke, I've seen a lot of headlines saying that David is not involved in Celeste's death. And I see that there are these claims that authorities say there's no evidence connecting David to the death of Celeste, which is interesting because they collected evidence from his home. David hired Blair Burke, known for representing Harvey Weinstein, Lindsay Lohan, Kanye West, Mel Gibson, Britney Spears. Here again is another article saying David's attorney says no public evidence connects musician to the death of teen found in his car. But I looked through this entire article. There's literally nothing within it that says where his attorney said this. So why are these random headlines like popping up like bots? One law expert said that David better be shutting his mouth. He better be absolutely quiet. He better be at home, whatever he's doing nothing, not going anywhere, not talking to anybody, just doing everything that Miss Blair Burke tells him. Now, the actual statement from the LAPD that went out to the press says that the department has been working on the investigation for the past few weeks, and they confirmed that she is deceased. Her body was found in the Tesla belonging to David Burke. The vehicle had been parked at the location for several weeks. The medical examiner has not been able to determine a cause of death, which means the investigators cannot look into criminal culpability. Essentially, they cannot name him as a suspect just because they don't have anything to suspect him for, because they cannot determine if a crime had occurred because the decomposition is so bad. Now, I have seen some quirky things on social media. Like, why did someone post that David was active on TikTok? Like, literally yesterday, following people's TikToks. He looks like he followed Playboy Cardi's new TikTok account. So he's actively following people using social media. On Reddit, somebody said, I don't support his actions, but the way you guys be stalking this man whenever he opens his phone has me crying. Nothing like spending your last days of freedom on TikTok. That is right. So does this prove that he's on one of the accounts and not law enforcement? Which is a good question. So has law enforcement not seized his social media accounts and his technology?
An evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as a detective. I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself.
One person also noted that on Celeste's Discord page, the bio had changed. At one point, it had KYS within it, which means kill yourself. And then the bio just magically disappeared, which doesn't necessarily make sense unless someone logged in and changed it. You guys know how he recently spoke about TMZ. Harvey owns TMZ. He runs it. He's the mastermind behind it. And he's been doing like live streams recently and giving us little clues to what he knows.
Why are you?
Yeah, he's got evidence, yet I can't say.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay,
Also, why are you holding on to evidence?
You don't want, it's
Devin, are you
evidence
calling
that
bullshit? Because I'm calling bullshit.
you don't want me to say it because
No, we
it's
don't.
sensitive.
We all believe that he knows a little bit more than what he wants us to know, and in this recent live stream, it's more apparent than ever. So in this clip, Harvey's talking about some of the connections he has and how he's been trying to get tips from people, but they keep like hanging up on him and ignoring him, and he's saying that this case is different than anything else because nobody's talking.
They are being so closed-lipped on this. I've never seen this. People I know who I'm friendly with just hang up.
Really?
It's weird. It's weird.
They just put the phone down on
Unless he's, I mean, our boy Harvey's smart, you know, I respect. Maybe he like said too much the last time we spoke, so he's trying to make it seem like he's got no intel now.
down on you? No goodbye? Weird. Maybe they don't know anything.
I don't know. Maybe I did something.
What could the reason for that be?
It makes me think there is a big twist because they don't act this way. There's something. But my gut tells me they're going to move on somebody not too long from now.
This is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's a combination of surveillance video, Tesla video, and DNA that I think is going to crack this.
People are asking about Blair Burke. Anything about Blair?
We need to get some answers as far as surveillance videos go. I mean, you would think investigators have everything they could have gotten at all, you know? They've probably gone to every house, and I know a lot of people in the comments like, you know, my ring, it deletes after every 30 days, and so, but you know, some people, they have the extended plan or something, so I'm sure there's something out there. This person pointed out that Harvey is vacation buddies with Blair Burke, David's lawyer, so they may be close friends. Maybe that's why he's not leaking any info. I wonder if anyone has security footage of mine deletes after 30 days. If someone saw them walking out late night to the car, no big deal. They always see her. The footage wouldn't be archived. His 3-car garage was a mini arcade, which is why he didn't park inside. The dust on his car looked to be more than a few weeks old.
A lot of people are going to be asking the very obvious question of why hasn't David been brought in at least for questioning? Law enforcement doesn't have the answers they want in order to be able to confront or question David, especially without an autopsy report as to the cause and manner of death.
I just hope our private investigator Steve and Harvey are correct that there's going to be some movement in this case, because I feel uneasy thinking about poor, like, deceased Celeste buried in her grave without any justice. Like, make it make sense. I feel so terrible for her. And even if her family was terrible and like neglectful and they're caring now, it doesn't matter. Like she still like had to go through something so traumatic, and even like after she's dead, like that's still traumatic. I mean, she is dead now, but like even doing that to someone's body is so gross and disrespectful, and like so sending good vibes to her, and I pray that something happens this week. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.